Well, it was cloudy but fine for the final day of the Jubilee Test match at Lord's, with England beginning the day at 189 for 2 with a not-out batsman, Woolmer and GREIG. Much depended on whether or not the Australian pace bowlers could get a breakthrough this morning. If they could do that, then England might have been in a little bit of trouble. On the other hand, if the England overnight batsmen Woolmer and GREIG could get going, they might set a target later in the day. We join play now in the 5th over. It's THOMSON bowling to GREIG, and the score is 198 for 2. There's some good deliveries floating around out there this morning. Walker and now THOMSON. That was absolute beauty. Just flicking the pad. Max Walker, there's no chance of him cutting that off. It's racing away down there towards the tavern stand.
That's another good shot. Played that in-swinger well, kicked it away through mid-wicket. And this time he's managed to make 3 out of it. And that's it, and Woolmer goes. So Pascoe breaks through, a nice smart catch at slip there by Greg Chappell, and the end of a really fine performance this by Bob Woolmer, a day he'll remember for a long time. He's played really superbly, coming in when Amos had fallen without a run on the board, and he's made 120 out of 224 for 3. By far his best innings when he's been wearing that England cap. 13 boundaries in his 120 runs, and an innings which has saved England in the 2nd innings. Members in the pavilion on their feet quite rightly, and giving him a very warm welcome back. 5 hours he's been out there. It was a smart catch here, straight into Greg Chappell, fine slip fielder, unlikely to make a mistake there. An innings of distinctly different character this from Tony Greig. He's on 47 now, he's been in 2 hours and 20 minutes. The new ball is to be taken at him now. Really let the bat go at that one. No question at all about that. Just dropped short, hammered away square on the offside by Tony Greig. Applause then for Tony Greig, going through to 52. 5 fours in his 50. And Tony Greig coming back to form with the bat at exactly the right time here for England. It's a desperate effort there. Might easily have been picked up round the corner. Barlow again getting well outside off stump. And just squirting that in the air, just wide of Pascoe. Really dug that one in. And Barlow unable to control that in any way at all.
Ben Pascoe. It's in the air and 4. Gosh, it's gone very, very fast. And perhaps it's the new bat. Yeah, that a fearful thrash. Well, that one was a little bit luckier. But it has taken Tony Greig now on to 78. Greg Chappell and Rod Marsh keep hammering away at him to bowl a good line and length. He's got plenty of pace, a little bit of extra lift, and he's bowled very well, but when he gets too enthusiastic then he loses the line and length. bowled short, and it becomes an over such as this one where he's very much astray. And that's close and it's out. Must be very, very good decision that. Pascoe has broken through. He's kept the ball up to the bat on that occasion. And Graham Barlow has gone. LBW to Pascoe for 5. It's 263 for 4. Tony Greig is 79 not out. There's the replay. Well, we're behind the batsman, so it's a difficult angle, but I must say it looked to be pretty plumb. That's a good shot. Tony Greig's starting to time the ball now, and not only that, he's looking for the powerful scoring strokes. He's quite prepared to throw the bat at the ball. I think that's got to go down as a chance, particularly as Max looks as though he's got a tear or two running down the side of his cheek. That's a good shot. Very well timed, and Tony Greig has gone off 87 and moves on to 91. It's in the air, and it's out. Kerry O'Keefe has caught Tony Greig square driving. Greig is out, caught O'Keefe. Bowled Pascoe for 91. Alan Knott is 8. It's 286 for 5. Danny Pascoe has taken his 3rd wicket of the morning. Very big crowd here, but most generous applause for Tony Greig, who came in earlier than usual, batting at number 4 with Randall injured, and also going ahead of Barlow. And he shared in a splendid partnership of 92 with Bob Woolmer. Max Walker. And he's out in exactly the same fashion. Both balls were hit very hard, Greig's and Knott's. It's the first stroke of luck for Max Walker, in that Alan Knott has slashed it straight to Doug Walters, as he did in the first innings. A very firmly hit stroke. Wide ball. And Doug Walters has taken the catch.
So Derek Randall has finally appeared at the crease, been pushed down the order, suffering a good deal of discomfort. You can see that fairly enlarged left elbow. He's very swollen, suffering from bursitis in the elbow. So Walker again too old. And he's out. So Walters grabbing another catch at cover, and this really has been a collapse for England. All out without troubling the scorers. Shortish ball cracked off the back foot, but straight into the very safe and capable hands of Walters at cover point. Thompson again from the nursery end here. And that was a good ball. And asking for the catch, and Dickie Bird is saying yes. He wasn't quite sure whether the ball had carried to begin with. So Thompson improving his figures, 2 for 75 now. Randall goes, another nought on the English scoreboard, and that was a particularly useful delivery indeed. Pitched right on a length, lifted a bit, cut away, and was very nicely picked up in the slips. And that touched the wicket and hasn't done anything about it. Lucky Underwood there, and Walker unlucky again. Hitting the pad, rolling back, not disturbing the bails at all. That's one considerable amount. So Underwood got the inside edge on it. He gets 2 runs, and those 2 runs bringing up the 300 for England. So that's a very handy landmark for them. 301 now for 8, with Underwood into double figures on 10. Just 2 hours playing time now, plus 20 overs. And it would mean that if Australia scored at a run a minute throughout those 2 hours, they'd have to score about 5 and over off the last 20. And that's edged, and it's taken very safely. So yet another catch for Rod Marsh, yet another wicket for Jeff Thomson. So improving on his figures at the break of 1 for 75, now 3 for 85, and John Lever out for 3, England 305 for 9. And that's it. 2 and 2, and Bob Willis has gone first ball. Rod Marsh takes another catch. England are all out for 305. Willis out, first ball for naught.
Well, what a collapse that was. A fine innings from Tony Greig for his 91, but 4 wickets going down with the total on 286, and in all 6 wickets went down in the space of just 19 runs, and Underwood was only the 4th man to reach double figures. 305 the total, and that set Australia a target of 226 in 105 minutes, and the final 20 overs to be bowled. Here's Chris Holt now in the 2nd over of the Australian second innings, and he's bowling to Richie Robinson. And that is a typical stroke from Richie Robinson. He's not meant to be an opening batsman. He's doing a makeshift job here. He's out, caught, and a good catch too. My word, that was a sharp chance to Bob Woolmer. It had to be a reflex catch. It's the first wicket down. Robinson caught it short forward square by Woolmer, off hold for 4. McCosker has 1. It's 5 for 1 wicket. So Australia still need 221 to win, now with 9 wickets standing. Bob Willis. Bowl him. So Australia twice now suffering a reverse, and Bob Willis has struck. He bowled so well in the first innings. He's removed McCosker now, who was going to be the sheet anchor. McCosker's gone with a score at 5. Bowled Willis for 1, and that's how it happened. Between bat and pad, once again, exactly the same as in the first innings. And have a look at McCosker's feet. It's a super shot, that one. It was as well executed a square cut as you could find. No ball call, and 4 more runs. Eleven from the server so far. That must have been within a whisker of removing 1 or more of those stumps. I think Greg Chappell probably made it into a Yorker, going forward for the drive.
Oh, that's a fine shot. Really got into position very quickly there. Bad bounce, a magnificent shot over mid-wicket. And David Hookes goes on from 5 to 11 as a result of it. Very short, right off the meat of the bat. Perfectly timed, the first 6 of this test match into the mound stand. Oh, that must have been desperately close if Barlow had hit the wicket. Took a real chance there. Barlow, one of England's finest fielder swooping on that. And I think Mr. Hookes might have been in a lot of trouble if that throw had hit the wicket. So it's a big task for Australia. They've got to be scoring at almost 6 runs and over. Chris Holt still bowling, Greg Chappell facing. That's short, it's in the air, it should be caught, Lever's under it, and he's made perfectly safe. So that could be the end of any charge by Australia, losing their captain Greg Chappell with the score on 48, caught by Lever off the bowling of Old, and he's out for 24. This could be the fairly vital wicket here this afternoon. Greg Chappell, upon whom the Australians rely so much. Spooning a very simple catch there. The ball, in fact, never quite short enough for him to pull round to mid-wicket. So, dying bravely in the attempt to push the score along. That's he flighted one again. He's got under it, his loft just out of the reach of Barlow. But again, it was nicely flighted by Underwood. Didn't pick it up as he intended to, but a fairly hard edge on that. Very high, but just out of the reach of the chasing Barlow. That's more to his liking. A shorter one, fine cut of the ball. Dougie Walters gets 4 for that. That's one spot that you really shouldn't bowl to this man. Immensely powerful on the cut. 166 wanted in 34 minutes plus 20 overs. That's a beautiful ball. And a big shout going up. Lloyd Budd having absolutely nothing to do with it. And again, what a good over this has been. No luck at all there for Chris Holt. Just a little slow setting off there, Derek Underwood. It was a fraction of a second before I think he realised it was a catch or a half chance coming back, and as a result was never really in a position to take advantage of it.
It's in the air, and that could be out. It'll be a good catch if it's taken, and it is. It's Alan Elam, the 12th man. A fine catch. His Kent teammate, the bowler, Derek Underwood, and Australia 64 for 4 with Doug Walters out. Port Elam bowled Underwood for 10. Got to be missing leg stump. They'd have to straighten up a tremendous amount to the LBW, left arm over the wicket, and on that rather exaggerated angle. So out of the question for Australia to win. It's just a question now if England can get through in what'll be something like 23, 24 overs. And that's got to be a chance if David Hookes keeps on sweeping in that fashion. You just pick up the 2 runs from it. It was a good indication of not waiting for the ball to come onto you. He was through with the shot there, and the ball came off the back of the bat. It's that shot away on the onside. Amos is the man. Oh, what a lovely catch that is. A superb catch by Dennis Amos. If anything, that was better than Alan Elam's. It's 71 for 5, and Sargent is the man out. Caught Amos, bowled Underwood for 3, and Hookes is 26 not out. Australia have to survive now for 3 minutes and another 20 overs. This is a very tense afternoon of concentration for spectators as well as players. It's all happening here at Lord's. Everyone's unmoved, particularly Marsh and Budd. Great shouts from all the players in the field. Bob Warner, the man, diving forward.
Oh, that's a good ball, cut back the other way. So this should be a last and pacey fling from Bob Willis, who's already collected 8 wickets in this match. But that'll bring Hookes 4. Old pitch ball, driven very nicely square on the offside. That's a good shot. Willis dropping short and hooked away powerfully again by young David Hookes. Another boundary to him. He's moving on now to 46. Very free shot there. Whipped away off the bat foot through mid-wicket. The Underwood chase just paying off. Catching it in front of the ropes. But 3 good runs there to David Hookes, takes him on to 50. So a second test 50 for David Hookes. Recall he made a brilliant aggressive 56 in the Melbourne Centenary Test. That's short, it's in the air. Willis is going back to chase it, and he's taken the catch. A very safe pair of hands. A disappointed, dejected David Hookes, crashing his bat on the ground. And he made an error which could well have cost Australia this Test match. He's the 6th man out for a fine innings of 50. The score's on 102, and there's still a further 9 overs when this is completed.
There was a chance. Really must have been badly unsighted there, because O'Keefe was aiming to hit it away on the onside. Brearley may, if he wants to make sure of getting through the remaining 5 overs, may be moved to bring on Underwood at that nursery end. Another bouncer. And in fact, the umpires are having a word. It's a good-humoured word. Well, obviously the query wasn't about how many balls left or anything to do with arithmetic. It was something like Rodney Marsh saying, look here, if by any odd chance I'm permitted to appeal against the light, then I'm doing so. And in fact he got it. Little touch of Australian experience there, expertise, or you know, some cynics might even say a little contrick. At any rate, the Australians finished up 112 short with 4 wickets still in hand. Had the game been played out for the full time without that light appeal, no one can say for certain that they'd have retained those 4 wickets. It was a very tight pressure situation, and England played very well after the early flurry from Greg Chappell had rather set them back on their heels. It was a very good Test match. I enjoyed the out cricket as much as anything. I thought both sides fielded very well indeed. Some of the catching was excellent. 1 or 2 dropped, but the work in general was very good. The batting, in a word, fragile on both sides, and the bowling very good. Bob Willis, a splendid effort, so too Chris Old, and the 3 Australian pacemen also did a very good job. Well, we're all looking forward now to the Old Trafford Test match, the second in this series. This one very good, honours even in the Lord's Jubilee Test match.
Sponsored